Man was a young security guard working the night shift at an old factory on the city's outskirts. He grew used to the silence of the night, and nothing much ever disturbed him. One night, as he was patrolling the area, he noticed a strange light descending from the sky. It wasn't a typical white light. It was soft, pulsing glow of red and yellow light, almost as if it was dancing. Men stared at the light, watching as it seemed to settle over the forest behind the factory. He thought it might be a shooting star or a downed aircraft, so he decided to investigate. But the closer he got, the more he felt something was off. The light didn't fade or flicker like a falling star. Instead, it remained steady, hovering there in silence, almost as if it was waiting. As man entered the forest, he was enveloped by the eerie silence. The usual sounds of insects and the night breeze disappeared as if they had never existed. Around him, there was only a deep, chilling stillness. He felt as if something unseen was watching him from the shadows. Then he heard it, a faint voice calling his name, soft and distant, but distinctly not human. Man tried to steady his nerves and continue forward. In the darkness ahead, he could just make out a figure, tall, thin, and draped in shadow. Though he couldn't see its face, he was certain of one thing. It had two eyes glowing with a deep, unsettling blue, as if they were distant stars. Man tried to turn and run, but his body felt frozen, weighed down by an unnatural force. The figure moved closer, watching him with those cold, otherworldly eyes. Gathering his courage, Man noticed the strange figure was holding a small, glowing sphere. A peculiar sound filled his mind, not a language, but a form of communication that felt like it was speaking directly into his thoughts. The message was one of the curiosity, full of questions, probing into his mind. Images began to flooding his thoughts. Stars spinning in space, people line up like specimens, and scenes of scientific experiments beyond his understanding. Man felt like he was being forced to witness something hidden, a truth from another world. Man felt this, staring at the being with a mixture of terror and helplessness. The images overlapped with his own memory, blurring them until he was unsure if his thoughts were in his own or belonged to the creator. He felt himself slipping away, as though he were losing his sense of self. Suddenly, the being reached out and placed a cold hand on his forehead. A chilling sensation crept through his body as he felt something being taken from them, drained slowly until he felt hollow and empty, as though his spirit and mind had been swallowed by those cold, piercing eyes. The next thing man knew, he was standing back where he started, as if everything that had happened has been a mere dream. But when he turned to the factory, he noticed something strange. He looked in the mirror. His face appeared normal, but his eyes, his eyes glow with the same soft red and orange light as that stained lights in the sky before. That night, man couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw spinning stars and felt the sense of being watched by something far beyond Earth. He knew now that his thoughts and spirit no longer fully belonged to him. He had become some sort of vessel, a washer, bound to the Creator's will. Each night, sometime, man will stood by his window, gazing at the sky as if waiting for something, and if anyone dared to look into man's eyes, they would see a strange light, as if something were watching them through him, something not of this world.